guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alana here. Welcome back to 3 Degrees of Love Divination. So today I wanted to for the month of March, I felt inspired to start what I would call mindful messages for the month of March, and present with you some messages of inspiration and reflection, and so the decks that I have chosen for this, and I feel like these are going to be sort of pick your messages, if you will. I have 3, and if you know any readings that I've done on my channel before, I've pretty much have, well, for the most part, called them a cup of love, but in this case, it's a cup of love for being mindful in the month of March. So, and the decks that I've chosen for this today is the Ascending Assertion. This is the deck that was lovingly gifted to me for the purposes of review by Andrews McMeel Publishing. The author for this is R.H. Sin. If you've heard me speaking about him before, he is one of my favorite poetry writers, and so yeah, I feel like the messages that are provided on each card are just magic. Very, I feel very intuitive and comforting and uplifting. And of course, it is it's 52 weeks. Of course, you know, if you were to pull a card a week, of mental awareness and self-care, and so, right, all about ascending your internal vibrations, and collectively, you know, if we do that for each individual, we do that for the full collective, right? So and we all benefit. So anyway, so there's that. Also, I'm also pulling from the Trinity Tarot by Ari Weisner. And if you don't know this creator, they've also created the Transient Light Tarot deck, which is also what is another deck that I'm using for this. And I also pulled a Messages from the Light meditation deck. Also, Life is Like a Board Game Tarot. And then some playing cards from Theory 11's Outcast playing card deck. Okay, so the choice is up to you as to which one you feel called or drawn to. Of course, you're welcome to listen to all the messages, combine them or separate them, however you choose to do it. If one calls more to you, you know, or one or two or both or all three, it doesn't, it's totally up to you. Take it as you will, and whatever of course doesn't suit you, you are welcome to leave that for others. So yeah, so let's get right into it. So yeah, I have, as you can see, each pile has a stone. We have Tiger's Eye, which calming thumb stone. Tiger's Eye. We've got the Evil's Eye. The Evil Eye. Sorry. Representation here. It's like a glass stone here. And then labradorite. So, and I love this this one, very soothing, and just it's like the perfect size for my palm. So yes. All right. Okay. So we'll start with the Tiger's Eye pile. All right, let me just move these up here. Okay. All right, so this is pile number 1, and this is with the Tiger's Eye stone. Crystal. Okay. So, the first out of the bat, we have from Ascending Assertion. I have, this is card 35. Love, peace, and support are always available to me. These things live within me. Okay. And next we have transformation. I'm going to lay out all the cards. Hold on, I feel like I've... Excuse me, sneeze. Okay. Okay. The tarot card from Transit Light is the Ace of Vessels. So what I'm getting from this is that as you do the healing work, as you do the shadow work and take the necessary steps to identify and are willing to commit to changing the negative aspects of self that are not serving your highest and greatest good. Identifying those feelings, that those sort of negatively triggering feelings that arise in any and all situations that you find yourself in on a regular basis. So that includes relationship to certain behaviors, certain coping mechanisms, that we tend to use, how we interact with with each other on a regular basis, right? Because we all have our impactful traumatic situations that we've all had to deal with. And considering everything that's going on in the world right now, our feelings are on edge. We're very easily triggered by the negativity, the influences that we're exposed to regularly. So it's reminding ourselves that the love, the peace, and the support that we seek is always available to us. These are things that karmically live within us. How we respond and act in particular situations, that choice to choose a brighter path is within our grasp. It's within all of us. And as we choose the higher path of emotional intelligence and empathy that we not only give to ourselves, but we share outwardly to those around us, those become reciprocated things that will come back to us as we do it. And so, we have the butterfly, right? Transforming the darkness, the pain, and transmuting that into something positive, something that brings joy to us all. The other thing is that with the bottle in the water, the importance of journaling and exploring those internal emotions and those triggers and where they come from and why, where they originate from. Why is it when I hear a particular phrase or I hear something that someone says that isn't necessarily directed at me? Why do I have that particular response to that? Where does that come from? So by writing it down and finding the descriptive words to where it all originates gives us an opportunity to make what's unconscious conscious, and in doing so allows us the opportunity to choose a better path. And of course, as we continue to navigate our emotions on a regular basis, when we have that sort of conscious knowledge of where our certain responses come from and why, we have a better we're better equipped to catch those triggers so they're not reactive. Turning it into wisdom in order to respond differently to the same situation as it may present itself in the future. So that's okay, so that's so far. Okay. Now, from Life is Like a Board Game, the Tower. So, and the way the arrow is very much looking to me like a graph. So like, you know, statistics on taking stock and statistics of our points of behavior. What sort of behavioral patterns do I have that is unproductive to my growth? Taking recognition of how how those can negatively or what's the word I'm looking for, trigger our health, trigger our, or take us off of our or throw obstacles in our path for success, right? Those belief systems that are not serving us any longer because they are they're outdated beliefs that have been passed on to us generationally speaking, and don't fit modern day way of life. Don't foster the potential for growth and expansion. Okay, and then from the Trinity Tarot, oh, we have a double tower. So this also to me sort of the idea of the double tower here is that to see the positive reflections that we all collectively want to see. And this goes, bringing it back on even on an individual level. I can't help my mind keeps going back to sort of politically speaking. I'm trying to stay away from that as much as possible, but it just it's like it's that idea of rethinking to this sort of the ideologies that have been pushed upon us, you know, throughout our lives, our, you know, what we've been nurtured, the you know, the gaps in our history, the you know, even sort of dogmatic practices in the ways of spirituality and religion, you know, that has sort of shaped our identity, but has negatively impacted us generationally. That's what I want to say. Right? And, you know, the impact that has had on all of us, systemically speaking. That has kept us isolated and feeling bottled up. Feeling like we're trapped and on our own. I talk about right, how mental health, you know, is on a rampage, right? How that affects us individually, but affects our communities as a whole, and ultimately leads to destruction. I see this and think, even, you know, the impact of things like the tariffs, how that affects, you know, us even on an emotional level, because we're, you know, we're worried about our well-beings, our financial security. But it's that idea of building that support, that community. It exists within all of us. And as it exists within us, we have that ability to build it externally. And then we have the King of Wands. And it's funny because the King of Wands, as the King of Wands comes up, you know, the image that sort of pops into my mind is okay, so I have a thing for music, and of course, and this happens to be Outcast playing cards, which is musically themed. But the song, of course, that's made famous since the Super Bowl by Kendrick Lamar. You know, even I'm just picturing his entire halftime show. But you know. You know, coming off Black History Month, you know, the sort of the negative labels that have followed, you know, us across the nation for, you know, every race, you know, for the that has separated us, that divides us. The idea of leadership, right? I spoke about you know, Kendrick Lamar, and you know, the impact of, you know, musically in you know, inclining that halftime Super Bowl show, but also the various inspirationally leaders that have blessed us over generations. You know, both good and bad. But looking at what the ideals of those that negatively impact us, you know, both individually speaking, both you know, that affects our communities, our individual communities, our cultures, right? And those that we look to for inspiration, that we look to for that inspired support, you know, and what are the characteristics of those people? What do we admire? Right? And it's the positively influencing aspects of all of these, you know, fearless leaders that we want to embody. And embodying that for ourselves, we're doing that ultimately for the greater and highest good of all. You know, as we come off Black History Month, you know, of course, there's slew of images of great leaders, you know, in mind that you know, that are plaguing my mind, you know, like a catalog of images. And taking the wisdom of these great leaders and applying it to ourselves personally. Thinking about the people we admire, the people that invoke and inspire love, peace, and support, that help us to generate that within ourselves, so that we can not only produce that for self and uplift ourselves, but, you know, that idea of as within, so without, as above, so below, creating, you know, and imagining greatness, and then embodying that inspiration to lead and to build and create into the physical form, into our own bodies. Okay, so that's pile number 1. Okay. All right. Pile number 2, which is the Evil Eye stone, and the card that comes up for this mindful messages for March. Pile number 2, we have, okay, so card number 44, and if you're into angel numbers, that is an angel number, so you might want to check that out as well. Set aside time to grieve what my heart needs to. I set aside time to grieve when my heart needs to, but I refuse to remain in a space of regret and guilt. So that also, I feel like also connects with pile number 1, because when we think about, you know, the ideals, the old, you know, harmful generational woundings that we've you know, endured, that we've carried forth in this lifetime from our ancestors, that maybe have we engaged in, that has thrown us off of our highest potential course of life, and that, you know, we've endured that, you know, because of our choices, because of our trauma, and then therefore our reactive responses to certain situations that have come and cost us dearly in some form or fashion, right? Lost job, lost relationship, you know, the things that have left us open and vulnerable to negative situations, as a result, having the guilt and the regret of, you know, of certain behaviors and patterns, you know, though, you know, thinking about a lot about, you know, those who've struggled a lot with addiction, and, you know, you can't gain back that lost time, and spending time ruminating on those past aggressions, you know, can very well negatively influence us and keep us stuck, keep us from transforming and growing. So making our peace with that, right? You know, give me the serenity to accept the things I can no longer change. The ability to take the lessons of my past so that I may forge forth changing the things I still can. And having the wisdom to know the difference. And to be able to let go of that guilt. And allow that to be able to keep us in a space of peace and tranquil, so that we can carry forth on our truest path. Rebuilding what was lost into something new. Transmuting those negative energies into something that is beautiful and uplifting, that gives us a sense of hope for a brand new start and cycle of life, right? We're moving into spring season and growth, right? Moving away from the darkness and the energy, transmuting those into something tangible. So, you know, mourning the losses, mourning the mistakes, but not letting them consume us and keep us stuck in a state of dismay. Okay. Surrender. So surrender what's lost. Surrendering and to that acceptance. Surrendering that we cannot change what has passed. What we can only learn from and use that as fuel for transformation. Okay, so then I have Champion of Swords. So I think actually when I was reading for pal number 1, I do remember there was a image of something I recently watched, actually just last night. It's a series on Prime Video, and it's called The House of David, and of course it's another sort of biblical series, and about the origins of fearless leader, and the story of David and Goliath. And as we are also in the age of Aquarius, right? And, the Champion of Swords will, the air suit, swords is very much an air suit, right? It's about the mind, settling the mind, letting go of, right? That the things that we hold in our memories that are negatively impact us, right? But we have we have 3 butterflies, which again speaks to the idea of transformation, right? Uplifting in spite of the heaviness, in spite of the guilt and the shame and the pain, still learning and developing that strength to wield that sword for good, confronting and letting go, facing that, the facing the negativity that holds us back, willing to fight for honor, turning that pain into gain, doing the shadow work and the healing. Right? We see that the sword looks heavy, but this bird is still in flight and is still carrying that. So, we also have Okay. So, yeah, being able to, the Three of Swords, transmute that, and learn from what, was, what was past. Not letting, what we've endured define us or be a hindrance. Take whatever time but you need to deal with but finding the strength to carry forward ourselves anyway. Not using it because there's no shield. So we're not using our pain as a shield or a weapon, but using that as a learning tool, gathered information. Okay, so here we have Six of Swords. And we have another butterfly. Of course. Right? So transmuting that grief and that sorrow. Leaving the past behind. The Six of Swords. And the Nine of Diamonds. So in, the Nine of Pentacles. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, right? In the Surrender card, right? Surrendering all that we've known to be truth. That was, that is our current given reality. But letting Spirit influence us. Allowing ourselves to feel every fiber of that loss. But remembering who we are, where we come from, and that knowing the power to create lies from within. The strength lies from within. Okay. That's pile number 2. And then, okay. So, with labradorite, we have pile number 3. And, okay, so the first card out, we have card 27. I promise to be kinder to myself and more patient with my journey in this season of healing and emotional growth. Excuse me. Okay. The patience with the promise to be kinder and patient with ourselves on our journey to healing and emotional growth is also to be extended to other selves. Remembering that the kindness and grace that we are also seeking has to first come from within. And as we take the time to, to be patient with ourselves, we have to remember that as an individual, observing other individuals moving about in the world, we all deserve the same patience and respect, to be kind. We all are on this same sort of, given everything that's currently going on, we are all on a healing journey. And each of us are at a different stage on that journey. Sometimes our journeys don't cross paths necessarily, but we all are on a journey. Okay. Completion. So closing out karmic cycles. Making that commitment to complete a cycle. Maybe it's about making peace with the moments in which, while on your healing journey, you haven't been patient. You didn't extend that kindness. Be willing to learn from our mistakes, to let go of any guilt or shame. remembering that we're all works in progress. So no one is perfect. But we are also part of the promise to being kinder and patient is adopting the ability to forgive, to take responsibility, and transmuting those negative aspects and bringing the lesson to a completion. We have judgment. Well, we all face judgment, right? Karmic justice. Provider of authority and charm. King of Wands. We had a King of Wands in the transformation. We need each other more now than ever because collectively speaking, we are all in this process and we're all in different stages. But collectively, on a macro level, this is what's happening. Again, coming back to what the masks are coming off. The truth shall set us all free. The truth is that we all deserve love. We all are to be leading with love. And anything that goes against that truth will face judgment. We have the Keeper of Pentacles. The hope is that this is what we, at the end of the end of a cycle, we hope to, achieve. The embodiment of financial security with the provider of authority and charm. We want to be led by someone who embodies this duality. Who embodies the duality of the King of Wands and the Keeper of Pentacles. So the King of Wands being, of course, that leadership, right? that sense of leadership and drive, but also the Keeper of Pentacles. In this deck, the Keeper being the Queen. So that feminine energy, that balance of yin and yang, passion with abundance and nurturing spirit. Creating a safe and loving environment for all of us to thrive in. Creating that for self and letting that transmute outward into the 3D. And the Two of Pentacles. So balancing, that's a balancing act. Bringing all of that into balance. A healthy flow of yin and yang. Yeah? So, those are the three piles. Combine that, if you will, or separate them and take the messages as you see fit. I hope to be doing this definitely throughout the month of March. And, depending on how that goes, of course, probably, would want to continue this. But, let me know what you thought of the messages and the way that I've broken them up, the decks that I've used, I hope that all of which will serve you and all of us for the greatest and highest good. With all that being said, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you so very much. Thank you for joining me on my channel and for your continued support. And as always, I am love, and so are you. As I see myself as human, I know, love, and accept you as one too. And as I leave you with all of this today, please always remember to take care of yourself and one another. And while you're at it, don't forget about me too. And until we see each other next time, don't forget to check your privilege, mind your magic, and always live, listen, and learn. I love you. Bye.